So here's Raina Leon answering questions about Canonical Vitals, my first book. Here's one question. Are there books that you have written only in Spanish? If so, what are they titled? So I speak English, Spanish, and Spanglish. And I speak Spanglish better than I do Spanish. So I have not written any books entirely in Spanish. Um, my third, uh, yes, my third book, Sombra Dislocate, Sombra meaning shadow, um, is obviously titled, has a piece of it in Spanish. And a number of my poems go back and forth between English and Spanish. Even within Canonical Vitals, there's a poem that comes from a real interview that I did with my grandmother, and where the interview is transcribed in Spanish and the contradictions are explored in English. So even from the very beginning, I've been going back and forth between languages. And yes, at least in that poem, it's consistent in Spanish all the way down on one side, and then in English consistent on the other side. But generally, I go back and forth. Um, I, Even within my most recent work, I just had a chapbook come out, Profeta Without Refuge. Again, mixing, even within the title, languages. And there, it's back and forth as well. I'm working on a larger manuscript where one of the characters, because the poetic manuscript has characters, um, comes from Cuba. Uh, and there's a larger story with him as far as being a slave who was transported there and then finding his immortality um, while on that island. And so his languages shift. Um, so I use language oftentimes in the multiple. And so, no, I haven't written anything totally in Spanish. I have a few poems that I've written totally in Spanish. But it's funny, I've never had a poem, even though I've submitted them, that was written totally in Spanish published. Interesting about publishing. So, um, but I've had a few that go back and forth between languages. So, yeah, books, no, not yet.